watching Gov's Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent. Hi, I'm Danny Bonnet.
Tony, welcome to Go.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I gotta pat you down though, pal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Got anything on you? Anything I should know?
I got nothing.
Anything weird going on?
What?
Alright, you go in, Tony.
Good. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tom Kelly of The Tom Kelly Show. Yes, this is not the only time I've gotten on my knees in the back room of a comedy club.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. Give Two Eagles Auto Body a call and please ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. That's 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony on the Knockem Dead radio show. They're gonna keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio.
Hey Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus.
Hello!
Do it like that.
Hello!
Yeah, like that.
Hello!
Not like that.
No, that was awful.
The one you did when I wasn't.
Hello!
Okay, save it for when it's on.
Sorry.
God, you know, I turn off the microphone and you're like, gold. I turn the microphone on and I get, ah! Seriously, ready?
Hello! That was an idiot. Damn it. Hello!
That was it!
Alright, this is the one. Hello!
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
So yeah, do it like hey. All right, you ready from hey?
Hey.
Now.
Hello. Hey.
Knockem dead. Comedy show. They suck.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome. It is Wednesday.
Didn't see it.
All right, hang on a second.
Do you know what you're doing?
No. Okay. Nothing. I got a text that I thought was something I needed to look at right this second, but fortunately, I was wrong. Okay. John Ruscio says, good morning, Tony and Mr. Miserable. Paula says, good morning. Jeff Bosey, I think I saw. Yep, Jeff Bosey says, good morning. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Show, coming at you live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown. We are here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, Facebook page, YouTube channel. Please subscribe to both and share them both and tell everybody you know about all the great shows here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. And comment. Share this show all over the place. Tell everybody you know about all the great shows. And comment and say hello today. Mike is here. Peter, Bales, and Jackie the Joke Man Martling are expected in about a half hour. So they will be here too. It's always interesting when those guys come in. We're going to have some fun today. So again, please like the show and share and subscribe and all that stuff. If you want to comment, if you want to stump the Joke Man, you want to say hi, you want to do any of that stuff, go to the YouTube channel. That is where we monitor the comments. We appreciate you hanging out on Facebook, and you can stay there if you want. But if you'd like to join in our conversations, we monitor the comments on YouTube. Okay, with that, hello, Michael. I have not seen you in a few weeks.
2 weeks, 14 days.
No, I think it's been more than that.
Oh, you went to...
I went to England.
You went across the pond.
Well, no. All right, so no, maybe you're right. So I went across the pond.
3 weeks.
Then you went. Then you were sick.
Yes.
But you went to Bruce during that week I was away.
In Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, I'm sorry.
Pittsburgh. I've never heard that.
Sorry.
I heard it's not the nicest of areas.
Well, I think where the Paints Arena was, where I saw him, there's really nothing there. There's one little square that's kind of cool, but it's like a 2-mile walk. I think where Heinz Field is better, from what I understand, and that's on the other part of the city, other side of the city. It's
and
not
you
a
didn't
big
go
city.
there?
No, I did not go there.
So you went to see Bruce. You saw one show.
One show.
Right. Everything was good?
I've seen him, I think.
How many times have you seen him?
I'm in the 50s.
Well, I know that, but how many times have you seen Bruce? You see what I did there?
No, not really. Can I go now? Again with the garage sale tin. Do you drink that whole thing in one day?
Yes.
Because I know you drink water. I've known you a few weeks now, right? So I know you like your agua.
I do.
But
I actually do about one and a half of those a day.
Wow.
Well, that's all I drink.
You have the cleanest kidneys in it.
Sure, freaking hope so, because I eat a lot of chocolate.
But what made you decide to get that thing, if you don't mind me asking? I know the PPH and all that stuff.
All right, well, I'll answer your question in a second, but first
you're
going to get yelled at.
What am I getting yelled at for?
Oh, I'm sure he's got a reason.
Not me.
Go get him. Go get him.
You're not yelling at me, you Rusiello. What?
Can you do me a favor? Can you find this guy? I had the perfect job for him. If he came down to Florida, I would have got him this job in 3 seconds.
What job would that be?
Your friend Mike would be a perfect undertaker. he would work in a funeral home. He'd be the best funeral home in the world. You know, you should be on the suicide hotline, Mike. All
I
right, you
put
should
everybody
take
on hold.
phone call for suicide and depressed people. After talking to you, these people would turn around and say, "There's nothing wrong with me." I had a conversation. With Mr. Kaplan on the way to your venue that I tell you, I wanted to shoot myself.
I thought it was a very nice conversation.
Well, what did he say that made you feel so bad?
The most negative comments I've ever heard in my life.
What about what? His life? Your life? Life in general?
No. About the world. About the world. We were talking about past performances that he was on the show with you, and he's like I'm telling you, the man is miserable. I mean, of all my ailments, of all my shortcomings, I get up every morning, I have a cup of coffee, I look forward to watching the Tony Walker show, and everything is good, everything is bad, and I got issues, but I don't dwell over them. This guy is like sad sack.
I am not.
He, you know.
Actually, you know what? I am. I own it.
Okay.
There's nothing
he
wrong
owns
with
up to
being
it.
But there's nothing wrong with being.
He owns up to it.
I do. I do. I
Why
like
you
the way
turning
I
the
am.
microphone, you dope?
I like the way I am. I like me.
You like the way you are.
I
all
do.
right?
I'm the real article.
All right. You know, let's Tony. I got to make a quick story. All right. When I first met Michael, we got very close friends. We were talking about my career, and we were talking about the army, and he was in wars and stuff. And he, for some reason or other, my gun came up, and we were moving back from Pennsylvania. We had a house in Pennsylvania that we sold. And I said, you're not going to believe this. I said, I have a gun, but I don't have any good bullets in the gun. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, I don't have any bullets in my gun. So he said, well, when's the last time you carried a gun? I said, I think about 2008, 2009. So he said, you're kidding me. All right. I said, no. I said, I think I threw out my bullets when I threw out the cartons. We were moving. So he goes, as a great friend that he is, he goes to a gun shop and he buys me bullets for my gun, which is 45 years old. But he looks at the gun. He wants to see the gun. So I take the gun out and I show him the gun. And he looks at it.
That's true.
And that's all I'm going to tell you. Let him finish the story. All right. That's all I'm going to tell you. But the guy was depressed over my gun.
No, I wasn't depressed. I was pissed off.
Oh, pissed off. Same thing with you.
Well, pissed off because, first of all, you're calling it a gun. It's not a gun. It's a weapon.
No. It's only a weapon if you fire it. It's only a weapon if you fire it.
Well,
That makes
that's
sense
what
to me.
that's
Yeah,
what
that
we
makes
were told to call it in
It's
the
only
army.
a weapon. Know your penal law. Listen to me. Know your penal law there, miserable. It's only a gun is only a weapon. It's either a firearm or a gun. It's only a weapon when it's discharged. And you know a lot about discharging lately. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I think you've left him speechless.
Never
Yeah,
speechless.
well, listen, that's not hard to do. All right, but I can't wait till Jackie the Joke Man comes and straighten you out, Michael. You're a perfect target for him. Perfect target.
I'm looking at the phone.
He's not even paying attention to you at this point.
He's not. Oh, well, that's normal.
You'll see it in a second on the screen. He's like, I don't know what he was doing. What were you just doing?
I was really examining the foam.
He was examining the foam on the microphone. That's how bored he is with you, my friend.
I wasn't bored. I found it
Look,
very fascinating.
look, there it is.
Wow, that's funny
What
as
the-
fuck. Oh my god. I look
what?
a little nuts.
A little?
You never examined the foam? Very interesting.
You're going to go out and buy...
All right, I gotta go. I can't take it no more. I forget it. I tell you, he's worse than the other guy. And I love the guy. I love him, but he's worse than the other guy. I gotta go. Goodbye.
Wow. We wasted no time to get weird in here. We haven't seen each other in like 2 or 3 weeks, and already it's gotten just completely weird. Ann says good morning. Carol says good morning. Jeff Bosey, I love how both of you have a before and after look.
Huh?
Well, I would be the before look because I'm all gray. And then Mike is
I'm
all
all
blue
gray.
and cheerful. See, you're cheerful. You're not miserable. You're not a miserable prick. You're
Why
cheerful.
are you pointing at me?
From there, Tony looks like Billy Joel before the concert. Mike looks like an exhausted Billy Joel after the show. It's the Star Wars droid thermos. R2 drink you. Will the both of you simultaneously get off my lawn? He wasn't
pretty
upset. He was pistol. Okay. So all right. So finish the story. So you went and bought bullets.
I went and bought bullets, right?
Yeah.
38s, I think they were.
Okay.
So I walk over to his garage and I see him. He's got the pistol out. It's a revolver. So he's got it. You've seen it. It's on the side. So it's off to the side, the cylinder.
I got you.
So I see him. He's trying to put the bullets in. Now, normally, they just slide right in, right?
Yeah.
You never have to jam bullets into a clip or the cylinder, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck you doing? Excuse my language. No offense. So he goes, these bullets, I think they're the wrong size. I'm like, they're not the wrong size. So I'm like, let me look at the gun. The weapon. Firearm, whatever. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, this thing's fucking disgusting. It's the last time you cleaned it. He goes, I don't know, about 30 years ago. I'm like, you haven't cleaned your weapon in 30 years ago. So someone gave him a kit, a cleaning kit. He cleaned it, and the bullets fit in there fine. But it's very important to clean a firearm. So
Does it affect the way the?
Oh
I don't know
God.
anything about guns. I know nothing about
God.
guns.
You don't maintain a weapon. It won't fire. It could misfire. It could blow your hand off. It could blow up in your face.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's so important to keep it clean.
So, all right. But now, why did you feel the need to get him bullets?
Well, he had this firearm, and
Yeah.
if you want to keep it for self-defense in your home, whatever, or for whatever reason, if you wanted to go to the range to play around with it, you need bullets.
The range, they don't sell bullets there?
Not the one near us, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
No. That's a very odd question.
Why?
I don't know.
You go to a range to shoot guns, so why would you think they would sell bullets so that
They do,
people
but
would
I
stay
didn't.
and shoot more?
I didn't think at the time he had any intention of actually going to a range of any kind.
So you think he just needs to protect himself?
Yeah, I just wanted to
You
get him
think a lot of
bullets.
people
It was
are
just being a
breaking
kindness.
into the Rusiello home? that
No,
he
I was
needs
just
to
being a
protect
kindness.
himself?
Sorry.
It's okay.
I was performing a kindness act. That's all I was doing.
Oh, that's very nice of you then.
Yeah, sure. I like the foam.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
I like the foam. I'd like to take it off and take it home and hang it from my mirror in my car.
See, the thing is, we got weird. I then kind of steered it off weird to talk about the guns and John, and then you went back.
I'm sorry. It's right in my face here.
It's been in your face since the first time you were here.
What's wrong with that?
Uh,
I don't know. I'm in a
okay.
bad mood. I can't help it.
So John was right. You're miserable. Why are you in a bad mood?
I don't know. It's just my.
That's just your way.
Just my way.
You got all these wonderful photos on Facebook of you and Trish. She's got a great smile.
Yeah.
So knock it off. Be happy.
I understand that, but you want me to talk about Bruce?
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
No, I asked.
Some parts of it were magnificent. He was magnificent. I've seen him, I bet you, 20 times, close to 20 times, since the reunion tour when you and I saw him.
Yeah.
We weren't sitting together, but remember
That was the first
that?
time I ever saw him. Yeah.
Right? He's better now than when I saw him at the reunion tour.
Really?
And I thought he was great then. For some reason, he's tapped into something I have no idea.
I mean, 75, and he's still doing almost 3-hour shows.
It was 3 hours and 7 minutes.
The show that you saw?
Yeah.
3 hours. Who does it at 75?
And he's incredible.
Yeah.
The energy he has. But it doesn't hurt that he's got a 17-piece band behind him.
Yeah,
that is spot on.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
That's one thing with him that's always impressed me. He always gets the best.
Oh,
whether
my
it's E Street
God.
Band, other bands, whatever it is, he
Yeah.
always has amazing musicians with him.
It's amazing. And you ever hear of the song "If I Were a Priest"?
Come on.
All right.
Of course. Who are you talking to?
All right. Well, he played it.
Oh.
It's one of the first times he's played it on this tour. I think it's the third time he's played it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a rarity.
Twice
for him.
in Europe. It's a rarity.
Yeah.
You know how old that song is?
Yeah, early 70s.
How do you know these things? You know the story about that song?
No.
He wrote it. He wrote it for Greetings from Raspberry Park. He says his words didn't fit in that album. A year later, he listened to the song. He's like, what the fuck is this song about? I have no idea what the song's about. So he just put it in his back pocket. Then Letter to You came out, and he figured it fit perfectly in there. It was incredible. I actually filmed it on my phone because it was that incredible.
Yeah.
Little Steven plays a guitar solo that I think might blow. Well, maybe not you. It blew my mind.
I love Little Steven. I love that guy. I love his acting. I love his solo albums. I'm a huge fan of that guy.
Have you ever seen him do a great solo on the guitar?
I'm going to say yes. I mean, he's not. Nils Lofgren is a much better guitarist.
Yes.
Steve is, especially since the reunion, Steve is more of like a mascot almost, for lack
almost
of a better
like
word.
A mascot. You almost think he's not even. He's just up there, just strumming. He's really not.
He's not.
But
he's a great guitar player.
But he played an unbelievable solo in the middle of If I Were a Priest.
Bruce would not be. I personally believe Bruce would not have become the big star that he is if it wasn't for Little Steven.
His words, he would not be. They've known each other since 16. And he let out a little hint why he wrote Bobby Jean.
Oh, why?
Because I was watching an
interview. That's your favorite Bruce song?
It's in my top 5.
Okay.
And he was being interviewed once, and they said, what has Little Steven meant to you? He goes, well, we've known each other since we're 16. You know, he's like the consigliere of the band, this, that, and the other. And then he comes walking in, he goes, hey, there he is. We've liked the same music. We like the same bands. We wear the same clothes since we're 16.
Ah.
So I'm like, son of a bitch. Because he will never admit who that song is about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Bruce put out his first 2 albums, and he really didn't pop. He was just kind of out there.
John Landau just died, the guy who first signed him.
Oh, did he? He died?
He died a couple days ago.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
Died.
What was wrong with him?
I don't know.
I did not hear that.
I think he was 75 or 76
Wow.
years old. Yeah.
I once met, who's the one manager that he ended up having some issues with?
Oh, the one that he took to court?
Yeah.
John Hammond.
No.
No?
No. I want to say Mike something.
Oh,
this is going to bug me now.
Is that when him and the E Street Band broke up?
No. No, we're talking like early 70s. Yeah, John Landau. But no, who's the other guy? I actually insulted the guy when I met him.
You did?
Mike something. I think, no, maybe not. Oh, yeah. Mike Appel? Mike Apple?
Mike Appel.
Mike Appel.
Mike Appel.
I met him once. I was at the Cutting Room in New York City for a concert, and he's just walking around. And
big name.
Yeah, if you're a Bruce guy.
If you're a Bruce guy, yeah.
So I knew. I was going to see a band. I knew the band, and I knew the band's manager and like some of the people. So one of the people, part of the crew, was walking with Mike Appel. Like I think they were taking him backstage or something. So I stopped them because I knew the guy in the crew. I stopped him and I pointed at Appel. I go, "Do you think you and me are the only two who know who that is?" I didn't mean that in a bad way. I meant to say, like, hey, I know who you are. I know that you're, part of Bruce Springsteen's history.
Right.
It's nice to meet you. But as soon as I said it, I was like, and sure enough, I look at him. He's just kind of giving me this look. And I was like, and I swear, I went, nice to meet you. And I walked away. But then I couldn't remember, just like just now, I couldn't remember his last name. So the band I went to see was the Lords of 52nd Street, which is Billy Joel's old band.
Yeah.
So I went up to Liberty DeVito, and I go, what's his last name? And he goes, oh, shit, Mike Appel is here. So I'm like, oh, that's it, Appel. Liberty walks away from me, goes up to Mike Appel. He goes, I didn't even realize you were here until Tony told me you were here. He goes, and then Tony was asking me, he said, what's that guy's last name again? And I was like, oh, it's Mike Appel. So I'm like, I just insulted the guy, and now Liberty is telling him I couldn't remember his last name.
Oh, God.
So I did. And I see when Liberty said that, I see Mike looks over to see who he's talking about. So I swear to you, I just went like this. And I went back to my seat. I'm like, and I buried myself in the seat. Like I didn't get up the rest of the night. That's my boring, stupid story.
I have a boring trivia question for you.
Yeah.
So Bruce in 1971-ish got a audition to go up to John Landau's office and play for him on the acoustic guitar.
Right.
Do you know what songs he played? I just found this out recently, actually.
Growing Up.
Good.
How many songs?
2.5-ish.
Oh, all right. Well, the boys are here, so we'll do that later. All right. Let me put a song on while I get the boys situated here. We'll be right back.
You don't have to be beautiful. Turn me on. I just need your body, baby. From dusk till dawn. Don't need experience to turn me out. You just leave it all up to me. Show you what it's all about. Yeah. You don't have to be rich to be my girl. You don't have to be cool to rule my world. Ain't no particular side I'm not compatible with. I just want your extra time and your kiss. You gotta not talk dirty, baby, if you wanna impress me. You can't be too flirty, mama. I know how to undress me. Let me be your fantasy, baby. You can be mine. You just leave it all up to me, baby. We can have a good time. You don't have to be rich to be my girl. You don't have to be cool to rule my world. Ain't no particular side I'm not compatible with. I just want your extra time and your kiss. Well, listen to the band now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Women, not girls, rule my world. I say they rule my world. At your age, not your shoe size, honey, we could do the twirl. Don't have to watch Dynasty to have an attitude. You gotta leave it all up to me, baby. My love gonna be your food. You don't have to be rich to be my girl. You don't have to be cool to run my world. In no particular side, I'm compatible with. I just want your extra time and joy.
Elio Pace, singers and his band. Wonderful.
Doesn't hold a candle to her father, I'm sorry, singing-wise.
Oh, we're talking music over here. Oh, I mentioned Bonnie Raitt. So that's right. Her father was
John Raitt.
John Raitt was like a Broadway star, right?
Yeah. With an incredible voice.
Wow. All right. Well, we have one half of Stand Up Memories has joined us. The one and only Peter Bale is here, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Bale.
Oh, how are you?
Very nice. Good to see you, my friend.
It is wonderful to be here.
We always love when you're in here with us.
Representing Stand-Up Memories.
That's
our
Did that other guy,
podcast.
you think is he that senile? You think he forgot?
I expect him to show up. Although we have a sponsor that may prevent him from showing up. Yes. Cycling Frog. I do have experience with this, with these
I don't.
seltzers with the THC and the CBD and the.
No.
Start with a lower dose and work up to it.
Seltzer that has those ingredients in them?
Yes.
No, I haven't heard of that.
And you would think that Jackie would be an expert in that. And
no shocker that he's involved in that. But yeah.
Yes.
And I guess he probably made that deal happen.
I think yes. For me to get a sponsor, it would have to be a public library sponsoring it. But public libraries actually don't take podcast sponsors. So, what would represent me as a product? Books. Barnes and Noble,
or
any books,
or comedy clubs. I mean, you're
comedy clubs.
You're the professor, man.
Like governors.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you now?
And as a matter of fact, we're starting another round, another semester, if you will, of Stand-Up University.
Very nice.
In our 25th year.
What is Stand-Up University?
It's Stand-Up University. We've been doing it for 25 years at various governors' clubs. We're at the Brokerage now in Belmore, and there's a pound.
I think he's here.
He's here, and I'll keep going. I'll keep plugging my comedy
like
school.
A 25-foot troll.
And it's where people who have always dreamt about being comedians go to get help in creating their first 5-6 minute set, and having a positive place to do their first set, because
that's incredible.
It's challenging to do your first set.
Wow.
And I'm plugging Stand-Up University, which drives Jackie crazy.
How are you? Good to see you.
I've actually been trying to tell this man, because he does a lot of acting on Long Island, but he's never done stand-up. I've actually been telling him he needs to take a class.
Well, if you have acting experience, you have a leg up, because you've got to present.
I thought he was making fun of me for a second.
I'm getting a leg up.
I get it. Yeah.
You have to. I didn't even.
Take credit, you asshole.
Yes, I planned that. Thank you.
Are you on the air yet?
We're on the air now, and I just got my plug-in for standupuniversity.com, which we're starting Tuesday. And if you're starting in comedy, that's the place to go.
Do you need help? You good? Oh, okay. All right,
there he is.
Okay.
I thought it was 11:30. You came.
Yeah.
You're perfect.
What do you need? You need help with your volume?
11:30.
It's over here on this side.
Yeah. Why would it be near the headphones?
That's where the headphones are plugged in.
So here we are.
It's a very, very weird show today.
We've kind of gotten off to a weird start, but it's going to get funny, and we're going to have a great time with Jackie the Joke Man, Martling, Peter Bales, Stand-Up Memories. I'm sorry, you know what? Were you done with?
Oh, I think I overplugged it.
I didn't hear it.
Well, you know all about stand-up.
I don't know anything about when it's
Stand-Up University, Stand-Up Memory. Did I say Stand-Up Memories?
Stand-Up University.
I don't even know what I'm plugging anymore.
Stand-Up University.
Stand-Up University is the comedy class that I do with Rich Walker for people who are just starting out. Okay? Standupuniversity.com, and we're starting up a new class this coming Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
And
I think it's great that you made it free. At what point did you make it free?
No.
Where is this establishment?
The Brokerage is one of the governor's comedy clubs in Belmore, New York, on the South Shore.
Who's the instructors, may I ask?
Me and another comedian named Rich Walker.
Oh, Rich Walker.
And we take Rich people Walker, you know Rich Walker.
Yeah, I did. He was in the streets with me, Tony.
He was in the streets with you?
Yeah.
The movie, The Streets?
Oh, The Streets.
The movie, The Streets.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Not really.
Not really. Well, not cool at all, no.
But Stand-Up Memories, Season 5, Just came out. Just started this week.
Just started, I believe, today.
Today
is our day.
Is that right?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Well, you should congratulate yourself.
Oh.
Very nice.
Who's your first guest?
That's your podcast, you chowderhead.
That's why I'm asking.
And I think our first guest for our first show or I still call it a show. It's a podcast.
Yeah, sure.
And is Bobby Collins.
Oh.
Remember the interview we did with Bobby Collins and how much fun we had?
Oh,
you
yeah.
were there.
Yeah, I know. I sat through it.
Come on, it was great.
It was
great.
wonderful.
Wonderful. He really opened up. And we're excited about it. I already told him we have a sponsor, and
Instead of just saying a few things about himself, he talked a lot about himself.
Yes, naturally, I thought it came naturally.
But that is your job when you're on a podcast. So I'm just being an idiot.
I'd rather have a guest that talks a lot as opposed to a guest that gives you like one-word answers. That makes me nuts when that happens.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I used
I answered with one word.
All three of us did.
God,
Yeah.
you, didn't even,
So,
you don't get the one leg jokes. You don't get the plays on words jokes. You don't. I don't care.
All right. All right.
all the
Let's
bad
go.
news.
I see that. Yeah.
Let's go. We're
So,
on.
Bobby.
I was on my way here and I saw a sign and I had to stop. The guy said there was a sign that said for sale, a multilingual dog. So I was, of course, I'm intrigued as hell. So I pulled over and I went up and I said, "You selling a dog?" He said, "Yeah, it's $5,000." I said, "Where is it?" He says, "This is him right here." He's multilingual, and the guy said, "Yeah." I said, "How are you going to prove that?" He says, "Fido," and the dog goes, "Meow." It's not a great joke.
That's good.
My girlfriend's sister's dentist told her that. And I've been telling it to everybody just to get even with the world for being such pricks.
Oh,
Wow.
come on.
Wow.
I'm only kidding. Yesterday was the greatest day of my life. They're coming to shoot a new show called Better Sisters at my house. And I finagled the price to a very nice place. And the girl, who's the showrunner, I don't know how much to talk about it because I don't want to quit a deal. Can you say that?
Queer
Queer-
the deal. That's an old-fashioned expression. It has nothing to do with your personal life, Tony.
If anybody knew me, they knew it.
You've seen the pictures.
Well, Jackie, you can. Let me explain what he's talking about. A little
Okay.
bit.
You speak Jackie. Good.
I speak Jackie, and you got to get warmed up a little bit, Jackie. He is on a list. He's part, where shows that are filming
Yeah.
need locations.
But it isn't. Everybody thinks it's not a list. What it is if you're a certain distance from Manhattan, it's a certain radius. And if you fall within that radius, they pay a certain amount to the actors and the crew or whatever. Once you go outside that radius, it becomes something to do with the unions and the
Right.
travel.
That's why during the
business.
the strike last year, a lot of people were going out east because they were outside of that radius.
Right, and so Bayville and Royal Pains shot for like 8 seasons in Oyster Bay, and they've been all over Bayville shooting this show called The Better Sister, and they came to look, and they always like my house. It's just a question of the place being right. So this is the 5th time it's getting used.
Yeah, Blue Bloods just used you, right?
Yeah, and the showrunner. You know what? I'm really not going to talk about it because I don't.
He doesn't want to jinx it.
No, you don't know whether people how exposed people want to be. But the bottom line is I got to roll in the show.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
Very nice.
really?
That's the good news.
Yeah.
The bad news is if you cough while I'm on the air, you miss my line. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Yeah.
What are you going to do? But it's fun. And I own a bar,
Nice.
which is cool.
And his line was easy for you.
Yeah.
Pass that joint.
And
It's such an easy line to
and
learn.
the guy says, "It's a bar, you moron." Oh.
So you're already. So when they came to
Why
shoot,
is that out of sync? How far behind is it?
it's probably about 30 seconds. So that's what the viewer is seeing right now. So we're talking 30 seconds later is what the
So
viewer sees.
both viewers see that?
Yes, correct. We're in double digits right now, I have you know.
I see him. 1, 2. 2 different cameras.
We're up to 12, actually, right at this moment.
You know what Jack said to me? Jack told me that I came in with sunglasses on, and he said to me,
You mean
Jack
Mike?
being me or these
Mike.
Yeah, Mike.
Mike.
Oh, Mike.
You said Jack.
I'm sorry, Mike. It's
You see how hard it is to work with him? Are you
Mike.
you getting an idea?
Mike said
Doesn't
this.
he?
He said
Not
that
really
I
to
look
you?
like a white-haired Roy Orbison.
A live one, of course.
Barely.
And I take that as a compliment,
It is a compliment, absolutely.
and I appreciate it.
So you're going to sing a little...
All right, go out on the
Now-
street and stop 10 people and see if one of them knows who that is.
I would. Older people would. A
People
lot of
our
people
age,
wouldn't.
yeah.
People.
People
who are
our
older.
age back then didn't know who that was.
I think Ray or Ray.
Well, there you go.
I
you
rest
go.
my case.
That is twin
Meanwhile,
brother?
he's one of the most
Jack,
incredible
I'm sorry.
singers ever. You know,
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, you were the one who told me that the Beatles were somewhat intimidated following.
yeah,
him.
they had to
Didn't you tell me?
follow him on a show in London, and they were like, "What are we gonna do? That bloke can sing,"
Yeah.
which is just so cool.
I
And
learned.
then George was in a band with him.
Really?
Yes,
Traveling
the Traveling
Wilburys.
Wilburys, who are
which is-
terrific.
which
I'm
I
a big
love that
fan
band.
of.
Yeah, they're great.
Now, I learned something about Jackie I didn't know very recently.
Wow.
Much bigger than you thought.
No, that would be impossible. But I will tell you what I learned. Something very, very cool. Jackie told a joke to Paul McCartney.
Actually, yeah. Please tell it again, but you have told us that
But that's
story.
in my book. You didn't know that? You never read my book.
I
I read
did-
your book and you didn't read mine.
I read your
I
book.
quit.
No, I read your book.
I quit. You did not.
I
That was a whole chapter. The whole chapter.
It wasn't just a chapter. It was the whole chapter.
it was the whole chapter on that. I don't
And you
know.
know
how-
what the chapter was called? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
How could you miss that?
How could I have missed it?
To be honest, if I met one of the Beatles, I think that would be a chapter too. That
And
would be a pretty
and it
big
was
deal.
a good
no?
story. But the bottom line is thank you, because it was a very fun experience. But it would have been a lot more fun experience if it was the beginning of a beautiful friendship, Louis. But no, leave me the fuck alone.
No, he laughed at the joke. What was the joke that you told McCartney?
The guy goes for an interview, and the interviewer says, "What do you think is your biggest fault?" The guy says, "I think my biggest fault is my honesty." And the interviewer says, "I don't think honesty is a fault." And the guy says, "I don't give a fuck what you think," which is just spectacular. That's a good
that's
one.
great.
That's all he said.
Now,
That's all he said,
Paul
really?
McCartney recently showed up within the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
Showed up at Stephen's Talk House just on a Monday night because he wanted to go out. I guess.
You know, there's more to
Is there more to that?
My girlfriend Barbara from Omnipop Talent, the band that was playing a private gig, and I think the private gig was for a company that was owned by a friend of McCartney. It wasn't. It sounded happenstance, like there was a band playing
Right.
it, and he lives in Amagansett, and that there was a band on stage at Stephen's Talk House, and there's a little community, and he just popped in and got up on stage. But even if he just got on stage at all with any band, it's still a big story. I
Right.
think it's cool, you know.
Yeah, it was definitely some kind of.
But it was
so
like
there
a
was
corporate-
a connection. It sounded like
like
it was.
the-
each other.
it sounded like there had to be, but you hope
Yeah.
that there wasn't, because
Well, I noticed in the video that was that popped up. The drummer was the drummer from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So that's kind of when I figured out, oh, this must have been some kind of special event.
that had something
Yeah.
to do with something.
But I know Billy Joel, he does sometimes show up at that club and just jumps behind an organ and plays and stuff. Like, it's a popular place.
I've done comedy there. They do have occasional comedy shows. Stephen's Talk House, Amagansett, right before Montauk.
I don't know. I don't think I ever was on stage there. I know I've been there a couple times, but the greatest thing that I didn't go to was a guy called, I don't know who I was with, but somebody called up and said, you got to get out to Stevens Talkhouse. Kiss is playing.
Kiss? Wow.
And they're like, you're kidding. And it was Midget Kiss.
Oh, Mini Kiss. Mini Kiss, they're called, yeah.
All the
Seriously?
same guys,
Yeah.
only
Wow.
3 feet tall.
Yeah, they do the
made
makeup
up
and everything.
This,
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen that.
Are they good?
Are they tall? No.
No, are they good?
Good and tall? No, I don't know if they're any good. I mean, I don't know. How can they reach the strings, you know? Like, I don't know.
I actually tried to get them in here, but they wanted to get paid, so I was like, all right, fuck it.
Oh.
True, that's true. I've
You tried to
get
get Mini Kiss to come in.
Yes. And they
You couldn't give them a little money? Once you get on that, you can't stop.
You can't stop.
When was the last time you've done any music?
I sang on the way here, all the way here.
Oh,
I was singing along with Sam Cooke.
Oh, nice.
You know, not for a long time. The last time I almost played, Epi from my father's place was starting one of his 50 billion new things, and he was doing Tupelo Honey. What's that called now? The
club that he has?
Yeah, it's called the Metropolitan.
Tupelo Honey. It sounds like Metropolitan.
No, Tupelo Honey was the name of the restaurant before what it is now. And Epi wanted to do a thing where people came and played a set of their own music, a different person each month. He said, Jack, I'd like you to start it off. I said, you know what? I haven't played in so long. I think it'd be so much fun. And I know it'd be a great crowd because it's very small and intimate. And I took out my guitar, just, see what songs I play. And I played a song, not on stage, but at my house. And by the time I was done playing the song, I thought somebody had taken a hacksaw to my fingers.
Oh, no kidding.
Because I hadn't played in so long. I was like, there was no way I could get through 10 songs or 12 songs. I mean, it really, it harkened back. Yeah, I remember when you're a kid and you first start fooling around with the guitar and you're so enchanted with the whole thing, you can't, but it would stop you. You could only play so long because it just hurt so bad for the first month, 2 months, 6 months, however many years it took to build up all those calluses. But holy Christmas, I forgot that pain, and it's excruciating,
And they're different calluses than the calluses you have on your right hand from other uses.
No, when you're
why you
playing
can't
the
see
guitar,
either.
Mr. Humor Boy, you're making the chords on the strings with your left hand. It's not your
Mr. Humor Boy.
It's not your whack-off hand.
Oh, you sell ice cream?
Now listen, I want to
It's not your
compliment.
whack-off
Let me
hand.
compliment Jackie.
Oh.
All right, he makes jokes about himself, and they made jokes about you on Stern. But he is pure and simple a superb musician. He has
Agreed.
original music.
Yep.
All the music on our podcast is Jackie's original music.
Nice.
And it's real music, and it used to be a part of your act way back in the day.
In the beginning it was. And, and I don't know how long ago, but maybe 15 years ago, when I made my record, finally made a music CD with the greatest players in the world. And then Larry Hartke asked us, and me and one of the guitar players did a show. It's so sad. All the Sam Ashes are gone.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which
And one
is-
of them just died. One of the brothers.
Oh, well, yeah. The main guy, Sammy, the grandson. But they built the superstore in the city, which is like between 33rd and 34th. No, between 7th and 8th on 34th, and it's like half the. Was a ridiculous size for a music store, and was so big there was like a second level where you kind of went up about 8 steps, and they set up a little. It wasn't even a stage, just like kind of a platform, and me and my friend Vinny played a set there in the middle of the store, and there was room, and it was so great. And these guys were coming up to Larry saying, my friend Larry Hartke and saying, these guys are good. These songs are really good. I never heard these. These songs are really good. And you'd think that'd be enough to take the ball and run with it, but you know, I just didn't. But I have that. I have that on really good videotape, and it's fun. You know, fun songs. But you know, it's an old girlfriend. You know, my ex-wife used to get so mad at me because I'd go to take out my guitar and then I wouldn't take it out. And she said, "Why don't you take it out?" I said, "I can't, because it's like heroin. You start playing, right away in your mind, you're like, I could do this.
Yeah.
I could write good songs. I know I could do this." And it's like, it's basically like calling up an ex-girlfriend who you hear is free now or something. And you know it's a dead end. You know you're going to get your heart smashed into, you know. And I just wouldn't take the guitar out of the case. And she, "Oh, you're so goddamn melodramatic, blah, blah, blah." But it was real, you know. And the minute you pick it up, it's like, you know, that's not a bad song. When I was playing, getting ready for Epi, I'm like, this is a really good song. And then it hurts, but it's really, you know.
I don't blame her for getting mad, because yeah, you are a good guitar player. The songs are good, and she's a good musician herself.
Yeah, and you know, and it's so much fun, but but it was such a nowhere street. I mean, making the leap from music to comedy is absurd. You know, like let's get into something you can count on. You know, it was ridiculous. But I knew
I've got my comedy to fall back on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my plan B. Yeah.
After all those years, I realized it's 1978, and we're making like $80 a week each. I'm like, you know, I might not be able to buy that nice a house with this. You know, and we weren't bad. The songs were good. The crowds loved us. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And even now, you know, when I make $80 a week in comedy, it doesn't go far. It doesn't go as far as it should.
You go pretty far when you're done. Hey, tell them what a great show we had the other night.
We had a great show the other night on Fire Island.
Well, he warmed up for a great show.
I warmed up for a great show.
No, we both had a wonderful time. And the guy that hired us. The guy hired us. The guy bought a club so he could hire us so he could be in the show.
That's it.
Oh.
It's like,
there's a restaurant called the Castaway.
Okay.
Which everybody but us. Did you know of it before?
I think I'd heard of it.
What part of Fire Island?
It's in Ocean Beach.
Ocean Beach. Ocean Beach.
Which is the
but
greatest
Jackie
place I
had,
never heard of. It was
Jackie
fantastic.
had so many
Yeah.
friends
Beautiful.
coming over from Cherry Grove.
I admit it.
And again, they liked his music most of all.
Yeah, that's not what they know him for. They don't know him for the comedy either in Cherry Grove.
While I was singing, they were enjoying themselves.
Yes, we had so much fun. Fire
That's great.
Island
It was
really,
fa-
it's
Fire
really
Island's fun.
cooking.
Ocean Beach is really, it's a lot of fun
and you
over
feel
there.
that you're so much farther away than you actually are.
Right, yeah.
You know,
But it
you
does.
think-
You feel like you're on vacation or something out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are no cars and all
Right.
little pathways and,
Yeah.
you know. Fantastic.
You know, I'd love to have a house out on Fire Island, but at $80 a week, it's a stretch right now. And of course, you also have to accept, if you have a house on Fire Island, that every 5 or 6 years
You don't have a house
you don't
on
have a house on Fire Island.
Right. And then there's always the $3 for the ferry. That's going to throw you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine.
But it was great, you know.
Yeah, it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun.
Do you get more? I want to make sure I phrase this right.
Yeah, don't fuck up.
Oh, I'm gonna. I'm sure I'm gonna. Because you're a New Yorker, you're a staple here, and you play New York regularly. So do you find when you go someplace else, you know, like say the Midwest or something, is it like do you get more of the Stern fans?
I don't really wind up going anywhere unless it's people that, you know, like I go to Boston. Like last month I went to Boston, but the people that are there that know they know me from the show or know me from working there before.
Right.
And I don't really work anywhere, you know, when like those scattered shows we do here and there, like, you know, maybe, you never know. Half the people know who you are, who knows, you know. And a lot of people that know who you are don't come up and acknowledge it, you know. But
And
I just got the weirdest and I haven't answered it. I got an email. How much would Jackie Martling, when they email you through your website, they don't know they're talking. They don't know it's going right to me.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I have people.
Right.
I'm the people. How much would Jackie Martling charge to do a show in Abilene, Texas? Where is that?
I think it's in Texas.
I know that. I mean,
it's
is
far.
it Dallas? Is it Houston? Is it out in the West Texas town of El Paso? Where is it?
Well, I don't know, but on the way, you can...
don't try and finagle yourself into the opening spot.
I know, but Jackie says...
He always does.
Jackie compliments me.
That should be a given.
Jackie compliments me when I open for him. He says, wow, you make me look really good. and I appreciate that Jackie says that when I open for him. And when Jackie comes on, the audience
It's
is
like running
starving.
a sprint after a guy in a wheelchair.
Starving for a laugh. Actually, I love Jackie's crowds because they're there for a good time. They're there to laugh.
Yes,
and we are stylistically very different, which works.
It works very well.
Trying to see where Abilene is, but
it's not jumping out at you.
May I ask what your style of comedy is, young man?
Yes. I want to remain unknown. So what I do, what I work on doing is, my style is actually hard to describe. I talk
He keeps
about
trying
myself.
different things. He's up to, I think, the M's.
M's.
I try things, and if I can get one audience member to go, I keep it in, and I keep doing it for 20 years. My style of comedy is talking about my life, and I'm very self-deprecating, and I'm self-deprecating in a way that most people can relate to. And some people tell me I'm a little bit pompous. But that's
really,
yeah. I pompous.
I've never heard that.
But he's too pompous to believe that.
Elitist, which is I am elite.
Which is really an act, because if you knew him, you'd know that he has absolutely no reason to be pompous or elitist.
That's why we work so well together.
No,
one of the
Bales
best.
is very funny.
One of the
He's
best.
very real.
Yes.
It's all great stuff. Relatively clean.
Re-
And now he
relatively,
talks about how old he is.
I do. Self-deprecating material. I think that's the key to comedy. A lot of people
So do I.
are unable to do self-deprecating material.
That's one of my favorite self-deprecating.
Yeah, the joke is on me.
But one of the best at crowd work. I've told you that. I
Yes.
love his crowd work.
Yeah.
He's one of the best out there. It's simple as that. I mean,
You guys are very nice.
That's why you're called a professor, and everybody walks these halls. I talked to Bales about that, or Bales told me this. I mean, that's something you hear almost every weekend here.
I will never forget the first time I saw Peter do his opening 20 minutes of crowd work. And the reason I can't forget it is because he did the exact same thing last Saturday.
Hey, Jimmy Carter is still funny.
They're called ad libs, but an ad lib is something you say off the cuff. But if it works, it stays.
Right.
It's still an ad lib. It's something. My favorite ad lib story is I used to host the shows at Governor's, and do what Peter did. Go up and start the show, and wait. Who are you? What do you do? You're married. The garbage he does.
Where are you from? What do you do for a living? How long you married?
Yeah, I don't go in. I don't go that deep because I want to keep him awake. And and I said to a guy, "What's your name?" And he said J. And I said, "Second letter?" And it got a huge laugh,
That's
right?
funny.
That's great.
10 years later, I know because I was on the Stern Show. 10 years later, 15 years later, I was doing a show and I was playing Stump the Joke Man. I said to a guy, "What's your name?" And he said J. And I said, "Second letter?" And the audience roared. And I said, "I haven't said that in 15 years. But it came up again."
Right.
And I think that's so funny because it's still a valid ad lib.
It does come up again. Sometimes improvisation can be described as the capacity for a good memory.
It.
Right. Absolutely.
And I've gotten stuff from the audience that I was so funny I put it into my act.
Right.
I did one time say to a guy, you know, what do you do for a living? And one time a guy actually did say, I disinfect bowling shoes.
That I have never asked you if that
actually happened.
I assume that actually happened.
And then I probably fumbled it and said to the next guy, the guy next to him, what do you do for a living? And he said, I'm his assistant. You know, it happened once.
And it writes, and then, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I remember having I had a great answer. What do you do for a living? And a guy goes, I work for the railroad. And I actually said this. I go, what are your hours? All the live long day?
Which is just too perfect.
And then I said, why do you do it? Just to pass the time away? Is this your wife, Dinah?
Does she blow me? But that's so, you know.
But, you know, in the course of a comedy career, I will get a guy who works for the railroad twice a year. It's something you can only do twice. But when it comes up, you look like a genius.
That's the trick, is storing it and then making it. Then when you bring it up again, make it look like you just thought of it off the cuff, and that's when they're like, "Wow, you're amazing!"
In the crowd, that's what's exciting when you get something you've never gotten before.
Right.
Recently, a guy said to me, I said, "What do you do for a living?" And he goes, "I work in a windmill." And immediately your senses are hyped and you're wide awake because it's not a standard answer.
Right.
And, you know, I think he might have been feeding me something I could work with. And I tell comics all the time.
What you said? What, do you get dizzy? What did you say to him?
I didn't have, what my point is, if you don't have anything
Power to the people? Come on, you got to come up with stuff to say to.
Something with passing wind or something.
I thought immediately, when I think windmill, I think Dutch people.
Okay.
And I said,
hey, what do you got, termites in your shoes?
No, I said, who's this woman you're with? You want to put your finger in the dike?
That was next. Oh, God.
Which is not me, because when I started it out, I you know, but if you don't have an answer right away, keep them talking.
Yeah, no, right. Yeah.
Because you have the mic, you have the advantage. The audience is on your side.
You stroll them around the park.
Yeah, and right. you'll get them.
And that's what they love. Because somebody asked them the next day, "How was that show?" The first thing they remember, that guy Peter Bales, he talked to me. Like, that's the first thing they remember, and they'll never forget that either.
Yeah, and I get that all the time. Remember, I was the guy down front you made fun of?
Yeah, right.
Every night there's a guy down front.
The greatest. I'm sure this happens with you, and because you could say anything to the crowd, and they believe what you're saying because nobody could see what's going on. When I went to Las Vegas with Rodney Dangerfield, we did two shows a night, and the first two shows, I've told you this a million times, the first two shows, I guess it was, he'd get up there, and after a few jokes, he'd go, you know, "And you, sir, take your hand off your pee-pee." And the crowd went wild, and I'm like, and then the next like, "Yeah, and you, sir, take your hand off your pee-pee." And I remember thinking to myself, he's so lucky that there's a guy sitting in the front with his hand on his lap. And then I was like, you moron. Of course there's no guy in the front with his hand on his lap, but nobody knows that except the guy he's pointing to, and the guy he's pointing to thinks it's hysterical.
Right.
And then the opening line of one of my CDs is, "Look at this, big tits right in the front." I could have been pointing to a guy.
Right.
You know, and the crowd goes nuts. And then, 5 big boob jokes right in a row, and they're rolling. You know, nobody knows.
There was a club in New Jersey called Rascals. It was in West Orange. Jackie worked there a lot. I worked there a lot. The manager was this great guy named Danny McKenna. And for 7 years, thanks to his support, I hosted the dating game.
Oh, wow.
Every Wednesday night. And it was different than the dating game on television because the whole show was me making fun of the male contestants.
That's the best, isn't it?
And it became set. the lines became set, but originally they were ad-libbed by me. The girl would ask, and the girl's asking questions off a sheet of paper. What's the greatest number of times you've had sex in one night? And I would jump in and say something like, and feel free to use fractions. And it was one joke like that after the other.
Yep.
And we found that it was best to have the girl asking the questions and the guys answering, because the guys were very, very...
they're not going to...
They're going to fool around. And
Right.
I remember once, one of the greatest ad-libs, the place was packed. We had a rabbi, a reform... I don't know, what's the coolest rabbi? The cool rabbis.
Were they letting them in back then?
Huh? Yep. No. There was a rabbi, and he was one of our 3 bachelors, and he was answering questions about sex, and I go, "Wow, man, you're so cool about joking about sex. I mean, you're such a cool rabbi." And he goes, "Well, you know what they say: blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord."
Whoa!
And the place exploded because it was a rabbi who, a very cool rabbi.
Very cool rabbi.
He was. I mean, but I used to do it at Chuckles.
And they can't eat meat on Friday, right?
Jackie is a religious scholar, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Well based in all the religions. I did the dating game at Chuckles, and we had one of the contestants was Kevin James.
Oh wow!
And he won.
Really?
And he won, and
one means he was one of the 3 guys, and there's one girl and 3 guys.
One girl was behind a little curtain, and she was asking the questions, and he was one of the 3 guys answering.
So the guys don't know what she looks like?
They don't know what she looks like.
Hi-yo.
And she doesn't know. She doesn't know. Well, then you would have had a chance.
Oh wait, and she didn't know what they look like?
No, she doesn't know. It's like the real dating game on television was the same setup.
She got herself a porker.
Yeah. We used to play a joke on the girl. And she would pick the guy, and first I would send around the losers to shake her hand.
Right, yeah.
Now but first it's time for you to meet the losers. And they'd come around and shake her hand. And now it's time for the winner. And I described the winner. And there was a comedian named Pat Man. And he was 350, an African American who was 350 pounds. His name was Pat Man. He was an old Long Island guy who was in a team, High Powered Howard.
Oh,
and
High Powered Howard.
Howard.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's still around.
Yeah, he's still around. And we would bring out High Powered Howard and Pat Man around the curtain for the girl. And their jaws would drop. They would stagger back when this 300-pound black guy dressed like a biker comes walking around the curtain. It was so funny, and I actually had to be there to hold them and whisper in their ear, "It's okay, it's just a joke."
Now, did it ever happen with then you say, "I'm kidding," and you show her the real guy, and she's disappointed?
Bring back Pat Man. Yeah, that happened a lot when the real winner was Irish.
Is that show still on the air anywhere?
No, I don't think so. No,
yeah, because that's it in ages.
It was so much
That's
fun.
reality TV, only done as reality. I think on TV those weren't set up, right? They were.
I
mean,
no,
that's
I don't
really
think
funny.
so, yeah.
That's like the Art Linkletter would talk to the 5-year-old kids.
But on TV,
there's no
Right.
control. They're just going to
Right.
say whatever they want, and that's what's really funny and really real.
Rock Rubin was also on with one of the contestants with Kevin, and he wasn't picked, probably because one of the questions, Bachelor number 2, what do you like a woman to smell like? Rock Rubin goes, carpet fresh.
Oh, God.
And it was just so much fun and so silly and just Wednesday
that
night.
game should be alive and kicking somewhere.
I'm with you. I don't think they were set up. If you ever go on YouTube, they have like bloopers or moments. And there was the one. What was the one with the Newlywed Game?
The Newlywed Game is used at couples resorts.
Right.
Usually the activities director will will play that with the.
Well, there's that one. What's it? Bob Eubanks, right?
Bob Eubanks, yeah.
He asks the couple, where's the weirdest place they ever had sex, and she says in the butt.
In the butt.
Yeah.
Like that to me shows that this was real,
And I love the fact that she didn't say ass because she couldn't, because it was television.
Right.
That's great.
I would love to tell him the story that me and you did 20 years ago at the old Governor's and how they would have reacted. Would you mind?
I don't know what story you're talking about,
the,
so go ahead.
So the anal sex thing reminded you of something?
That we did 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
We really needed the money.
You and Tony?
We needed the money.
Go ahead. Yeah, I don't know
what happened. What do you?
No. See, everyone thinks I'm a dick because I don't really laugh a lot.
Oh, I know where you're going.
At stand-up comics, because I find it very hard. I find it. I don't know. I'm a very. I like self-deprecate. I love Rodney Dangerfield. Was
no
my
comics.
idol.
No comics really laugh at. Very rarely do comics really laugh at other comics.
Oh yeah,
it's
he's
not.
right
It's
about
not
that.
got anything to do with not appreciating. It's just.
Yeah, but there was this one. Tony and I went to a show at Governor's when it was on 112 in Medford. We were sitting in the front row. I think we were like guests of this person.
Yeah.
And I wasn't laughing at one thing. I didn't find it funny at all. And I love self-deprecating humor. Love slapstick. Rodney Dangerfield was my idol growing up as a kid. So at one point, he looks down at me and he says, "Are you going to laugh at anything I say tonight?" And I wasn't being an asshole. I just said, "Want to hear something funny? I will. I'm sorry."
Well, then, yeah, you were being an asshole.
I didn't mean to be an asshole.
But that is a comic. If that happens, the comic's stomach is just tied up in knots. It's just.
See, I would take it more. Tony and I have done murder mysteries together.
Wait, is that the end of the story?
That's the end of the story?
No, not really.
Well, keep going.
No, the next part of the story is when Tony and I, for many years, did murder mysteries. I would pick out the person that's laughing the least, and it would be my life's mission. By the end of the show, that person would be pissing his pants or hers. So that's my story. Thank you.
All right, we're going to work on storytelling today and the essential elements to make a story work.
Don't we need a story to work on?
Well, we do, but I mean, as a comic, if you're going to sit down front, you want to be laughing it up. I mean,
Were you
invited to the show? Were you?
Yes.
Well, then
Those are the greatest
if you're not going to laugh, sit in the back.
I know. I told the same story on right here. I'm sure a million times. It was Fort Lauderdale, Saturday night. 400, 450, or whatever, packed, T-shaped room. So this way, that way, and now it just jammed to the hilt. And I was killing. And there was a table with like 6 or 8 people. The long banquet type tables, the greatest, just like Rascals, remember? And there was a table of 6 or 8 people, stone face. And I mean, the place was roaring. And there was a Steve Allen book called The Funny Men.
Steve Allen was
great.
He was.
Loved him.
But he had like each of about 8 or 10 comics, each had a chapter. And I remember Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby's chapter was called The Face. And he was talking about when you're working, if there's somebody out there not laughing, that's all you see.
Yeah.
You're killing everybody, and you're thinking,
that's true.
Am I going to get that son of a bitch? Am I going to get that son? And it's usually got nothing to do with anything. They come up and wind up, they were big. Just some people really don't laugh or don't express themselves. But this one table, I got, it didn't wreck my show, but they were right here. Like, you do one of these where you try not to see them. And on the way out, they came by. I was selling my albums like I always do, and they came up and said, "We just want to thank you for such a great time. We're in town because our favorite uncle or our father died or something, so we're all down here. And it's been so horrible, and thanks to you, we had a really nice time tonight." And I was like, I wanted to say, why the fuck didn't you say something? Hold up a sign. I'm glad I didn't say, were you guys coming from a funeral? Because they were,
Yeah.
But it is really it's difficult when somebody's sitting there not laughing.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're within sight of the comic.
Yeah, it's
There's a relief.
And then
Sorry.
he asked you, "Are you going to laugh at anything I say?" And then you just
Right.
he was wide open for a punch right in the gut, and that's what you gave him.
Yeah.
You know, do you understand? I mean, that's
I do. And
yeah, but
now
he
I
was
do.
more wrong than you. You don't ask somebody, you know.
no.
You know, it was like a girl giving you dirty looks at a party and walking up to her and said, you know, I guess the blowjob's out of the question. You know,
Right.
You know.
But there is a relief when those people come up to you after, so at least you know they enjoyed it.
Yeah,
But most of the time they don't.
But you need that energy during the show.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
Stage.
Yeah.
You know, I never sit in view with a comic during a show because, like Jackie says, I've seen so much comedy. I'm not really a laugh out loud guy. I always tell the story about a professional mate on a fishing trip. Okay, I noticed this going out of Orient Point. This guy goes out on fishing trips with civilians, new people, every day.
Right.
So somebody catches a really nice fish. He's not going to go, wow, way to go, high five, that's
Right.
great.
Oh, yeah.
But I saw the mate looking at a really nice fish, and he folded his arms. He goes, nice fish, nice fish. And you can see me in the back of a comedy audience, and I'm going, nice
That's really
joke,
right.
nice
Right.
joke, nice joke.
Yes.
Just I don't say nice
Which
fish.
is a raise.
I say nice joke, which for
is-
me is I'm thinking nice jokes. You know what I'm thinking? I'm going, that would work in Indiana.
Yeah.
Nice joke, that's clean. You can do that on
Yeah.
TV. Nice joke, that'll work every time. Nice
joke that's going in my act.
Nice.
I've noticed comedians, if they really think something is funny, like you said, you don't see them belly laugh or anything, but usually when somebody says hilarious, when a comedian says that's when they really do think it's a funny thing.
Everybody has the, you know.
Well, I'm sorry.
But that's what I've heard the most.
No,
though,
I'm
is
sorry
what
to
saying.
interrupt. I don't consider myself a stand-up at all.
Not yet.
Because you've never
comic,
done it.
huh?
Because you've never done it.
I've
So that's a
never
good
done it.
reason why you don't consider
But I
yourself
do
that.
the same thing. Even with my girlfriend, Tony, when I hear something really funny, I say, that is hilarious. But I won't laugh out loud. I know we tried to do it one time here, that old show, Make Me Laugh. I know I would win it every time. Because I know something funny, and you guys are funny. Tony, I think Tony's hysterical. And there's people in here that come in and out here that are just totally hysterical. And I'll say, wow, you're really funny. But I won't laugh out loud.
Did you ever consider maybe you're just really dull?
Yeah.
No. You know what? Not so much now because comedy is everywhere, and it has been for 30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
But I remember in the beginning at Governor's or wherever, many times you have a guy and his girl in the front, and the guy's a little too cool, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's with this chick, so he's not going to give it up for the guy. You know what I'm talking about? You know, the
Yes.
whole Guido thing, which I think we sailed past that. But the first couple of years, I remember at Governor's many times, you know. It was so funny because people were just not used to comedians. And people say, oh, wow, Jackie, what are you going to do? What if you're dirty? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, if a guy brings a girl to a comedy club, you know, and you do a blowjob joke, that's a litmus test.
Yeah.
If she's appalled, that's one thing. If she laughs, the guy's like, yeah, you know, let's go. You know,
That's great.
But I laugh out loud. But if you're in when I open for Jackie and it goes well, which is just about every time, and then I'm in the back and Jackie's up and everything's fine the way it's supposed to be and he's rolling. I laugh at the situation because
you're appreciating the fact it's working.
That it's working, and that there's an element of Springtime for Hitler in Jackie's act and Jackie's persona,
Right.
where I have been in comedy forever, and I don't get offended, but I just laugh because I know what Jackie's about to say, and I go, I want to watch these ladies here, how they're going to handle this.
Right.
You know, and then when they handle it, I laugh.
Yep.
And then there's one joke in Jackie's act where every time I see it, I just go, no, this is wrong. I don't believe he's going to do this. And and it comes up. I've had it. It's come into my dreams. This joke. I go, this joke is so wrong on so many levels, and then he does it, and the audience is like, and I'm oohing, but then I'm laughing because they're oohing.
Right.
And I bet you know which joke it is.
Yeah, it's any of the last half.
No, but it's one joke. It's one joke that somehow I pride myself.
Are you talking about the mouse and the chili, or are you talking about the sperm bank?
Neither of those. Those are both great jokes. And this is the one that bothers me. Is I don't know. It's just for some reason it's like
the morgue.
No, it's the old guy meeting the woman.
That's just.
But how can I handle everything except that? What is it about that?
Because that's how that. Not to be a total bore. No apology. That's why there's horse races. It's so funny what somebody will think this is absolutely fine, and that's not. Like, we're out to dinner last night, and Barbara, my girlfriend's telling our friends, Jackie tells, I put up a blah, 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 blah. But some of these things he tells me are just so funny, and I just think about them, I laugh out loud. And they're the most offensive things in the world, like this, Ed Huther? You know him.
Oh, yeah.
So him and his new wife, I tell her these horrible hair lip stories. And they go nuts, but they are so offensive, and but they're just hysterical. Let me tell you one, and you can tell me if you think this is funny. This little guy with a hair lip named Sporty, and he works at a hotel. He's like what do you call him? Not a janitor, but he's like a
bellhop.
More the guy that works around, that does small jobs or whatever. He's whatever the word is, but he works at the hotel, and they have a very famous client that flies in from Chicago, and the guy has to go on a business trip, and he gets constipated, and he's really, really constipated, and it's killing him. And he goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, listen, I'll give you this stuff, but make sure that, you're not more than 15 minutes away from a toilet, because when this hits, this is a depth charge. And what was the other one called? One was a depth charge, and the other one is equally sounding thing I've told us in a long time. He said, but you take these, and it's definitely going to cure your constipation. So the guy has an important business meeting, and he can't not go to the meeting. So he figures, I'll go to the meeting, and after I leave the meeting, I got plenty of time to get back to the hotel. So he gets done with the meeting. He takes the depth charge and the liquid dynamite. That's what they were. Right. And the cab's on its way, and all of a sudden, the road is closed. So the cabbie has to circuitously go work its way around Manhattan to get, and the guy's like freaking out, and they finally get to the hotel, and he's going through the revolving door, and a big monstrous guy comes through and pushes the revolving door, and he lunges forward and falls, and it's all over. It flies. He just explodes, and he's just freaking out, and he trips over a chair, and the diarrhea is just floating down through his pants and out his pant leg, and it's a mess, and he's all the way to the elevator, and the whole time he's in the elevator, he's just unloading, and finally gets up to his floor, and he goes out the elevator and down the hall, just leaving a trail, and he finally gets to the bowl and just explodes, and what a mess. And he calls up and he says, I had this accident, and it's, I'm pretty embarrassed, but I need somebody to clean it up. So the general manager of the hotel calls Sporty. He says, listen, Sporty, Mr. Schmidlap had an unfortunate thing happen, and he had some problem with his bowels, and he had quite an accident, and I need you to clean it up. So Sporty gets a brush and some towels and a pail of warm water. He starts cleaning up this trail from the entrance of the hotel, around the chair, all the way to the elevator. He's scrubbing and he's sweating and scrubbing, and he gets in the elevator and it's just everywhere. He's cleaning. He's sweating and just working, and then he gets all the way down the hall. He's scrubbing and he has to keep refreshing the water and getting new towels, and it's just so disgusting. And he finally gets to the guy's room, and he gets in the trail going to the bathroom, and he cleans the whole bathroom. By the time he's done cleaning the bathroom, the guy is in the room. He's getting ready for his next meeting, and he's all cleaned up, and he's putting on his shirt and tie. And Sporty goes up and the man in the hotel just wanted me to correspond with you that it's like nothing happened. We appreciate your business. We think you are one of the great guests. We always want to stay here, and there's like nothing happened. Please do not be embarrassed, because it's perfectly fine. Everything's taken care of, and all is good. We like you, and we love you, and we appreciate you being here. That is from the management. This is from me. The next time you take a shit, would you please stand still? Which is just so horrible. And Barbara thinks that's the funniest fuck. And there's like so many jokes that it's funny. It's wrong, but it's so funny because he picks his poor little. You know.
But you do it right, because you always lead the audience through. Okay, we're gonna get dirty. You guys okay with that? We're gonna take it up a notch. You guys okay? So they have nothing but themselves to blame.
You know, I would never tell that joke to an audience, because 5 people are gonna roar and everybody else is gonna be appalled, especially at me laughing at every mention of diarrhea, because I really. Ian used to have so much fun on a radio show.
But listen, the guy...
it makes me gag. It really, in real life,
the
makes me gag.
The guy who wrote War and Peace just called. He said you need to shorten that joke.
Do you know who H. Allen Smith is? He was a famous... I don't know why I know him, but he's a real funny, like a humorist, they used to call him. And he had this incredible book called Rude Jokes. And it's just written in such an odd way, and it's every crazy joke from all kinds. It just, I fell in love with the book immediately, because the intro said, I know there are people that don't appreciate a good foul story, and I think we should put them all in a canyon, so the rest of us can stand on the rim of a canyon and piss on them.
Yeah,
and that was his opening. I'm like, you know what, this guy's okay. And he had a friend. I think the book was from like the 50s or 60s. But he had a friend from Texas. He called everybody. They're all part of some weird club. I don't know how much it's real or not real, but it's so fun. But he had a friend in Texas that wrote hair lip. Oh. And there's like 5 hair lip jokes. That's one of them. And it's a whole talent, because it's just like if you write a joke about a stutterer, you can't have them stutter on every word, because it's unreadable. You got to stutter. I went to the store and I went to buy something, and then I went over to the shelf. You know what I mean? So you get the idea. And this guy wrote hair lip, and he used like HNTH, and it's in all the right places. And you suffer through reading, but you can understand it. It's like, you ever see those things where people write out a sentence, but each letter in the word is scrambled, but somehow you're
still able to figure it out.
Read it. And it just
it seems to me some jokes are unwritable, and some written jokes would be untellable orally. Are you saying that you can do both?
Yeah, he accomplished the unaccomplishable. You know, and they're just not funny.
So you have an issue with diarrhea. Jackie, the joke man Martling, has an issue with diarrhea.
An unbelievable one. I mean, I gag when I'm.
Is that why?
When I'm talking, not on stage when I'm rolling along. You know, you haven't got time.
I've told you this.
You haven't got time to stop and smell the roses. You know?
I've told Jackie this, and you lately you haven't been doing this in your live show. And when I'm at a party or something, or just talk, what's your favorite joke in the world you ever heard? And the joke that I answer is one of your jokes, and it has to do with diarrhea and dynamite. A father and a son.
Oh, geez.
And no, but if somebody, all the jokes, and which is different, as Tony knows, between comedy material. I do comedy material. Jackie's doing jokes, but he's doing them in his way.
Oh, yeah.
But that's my. If somebody asks me the one favorite joke you have, it's that one.
The joke has an outhouse in it. Not to date the joke.
Right.
Right? That's the one we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, you know.
But it's classic.
It's classic every time. Go ahead.
But you don't tell it. And I don't. And I tell people the truth. I'm a bad joke teller.
Prove it.
And I told Jackie a joke once, and he doesn't laugh. He looks at me and goes, let's think of how many more ways you can fuck up that joke. he goes, don't ever, you can't tell the joke man a joke. But, I've
Tell the joke.
I've practiced it.
Yeah.
There's a father and a son, and their assignment for the day is to go clean out the outhouse. And they're getting ready to get started, and the father said, forget this. Let's get some dynamite and just blow the thing up.
The farmer and his son.
Okay.
Actually, in my mind, it's a suburban house in Levittown. You're right. You're more likely to have
Nobody
an outhouse.
goes around cleaning people's outhouses. It's a personal
I think
thing.
it's a personal outhouse.
It's there. Very good.
All right. Okay. But you... See, that's why he's the
that
joke
alone,
man.
right? That right there is funny.
Okay, it's a farm. And they have an outhouse, and the farmer and his son, their assignment for the day is they've got to clean out the outhouse. And the farmer is getting ready to get started with his son, and he says, all right, forget this. Let's just get some dynamite and blow the thing up and be done with it. So they get some dynamite, they put it in the outhouse.
The farmer cleans out the outhouse. His son comes home from college, and he says, Pop, I learned in college there's an easier way to do everything.
You don't tell it that way.
That's how you tell it. And they went downtown and got some
dynamite. See, in my version, they have the dynamite on the site already.
Okay.
We
skip a
so they put some dynamite in the outhouse, and they, lay a fuse out, and they go hide behind some bushes, and they
put the dynamite under the outhouse,
not on top of the outhouse.
Makes a difference to the story.
Okay, and they light the fuse. They're hiding behind some bushes, and the fuse, as it's burning down, out of the farmhouse comes Grandma. And she's going out to use the outhouse. And she goes into the outhouse, and she pulls her overalls down, and she starts taking a shit. And as she's taking a shit, the dynamite blows up. And the outhouse explodes, and up in the air goes Grandma, tumbling head over heels. Shit is all over the place. She lands in the middle of a pumpkin patch. And she sits up. She wipes the shit out of her eyes. And she goes, wow, I'm sure glad I didn't let that one go in the kitchen.
Such a great joke.
I think that's the funniest joke I have ever heard.
Grandma, are you all right? Are you all right? And adds a little.
Yeah, but I'm just to tell it that way was work for me. No, but you get it's just
That is a great joke.
The
I
part
love
about
that.
wiping the shit out of her eyes.
That was in my act forever for the first year.
Yep.
That was on my first record.
Yeah, but why would you take it out of your
put it
act?
back in. We'll see.
That's a great joke.
You know, one of the outhouse joke I did forever and ever was Ma comes in and says, Jethro, go out there and fix the outhouse. He's all right, Ma. And he goes out, goes in the outhouse, and he yells, Ma, there ain't nothing wrong with this here outhouse. She says, put your head down in the hole. He puts his head down in the hole. He says, Ma, there ain't nothing wrong with this here outhouse. And he goes to pick up his head, and he's like, ow, ow, Ma, my beard's stuck. She says, it's aggravating, ain't it? Which is so funny. And I remember being on Rascals, being on stage, and Jethro is looking down in the outhouse, and I remember saying to the crowd, you know, there's not even an outhouse here, and I don't like doing that.
I actually can think of an outhouse joke now. Okay, there's a hillbilly, and his friend says to him, Jethro, what would you do if you looked down in the outhouse and you saw a quarter in there? You know it. Now you know it.
Yeah, I know you're telling it wrong.
I know. But I see that's another thing I do. I can start him.
Right.
And let's choose a quarter because it's an old. There's a quarter down there. Jethro, what would you do if you looked in the outhouse and there was a quarter down there? And he goes, well, I'd take $1 and I'd throw it in there. Why would you throw $1 in the outhouse? Well, I'm not reaching in there for just a quarter.
Now, you got to put logic.
I know, but I didn't tell him.
You can't throw $1 into a pile of shit. It's got to be a coin. $1's not going to go in. So there was a Polish joke, you know.
That was an old joke when a quarter was.
The way I told it to give it a double punchline, the Polish guy gets up and the nickel falls out of his pocket and falls in the shit.
Okay.
And he says, it's not worth going in there for a nickel. And he takes out a 50-cent piece and he throws that in the shit and he says, it's worth it for 60 cents. which doubles the. But that is a great joke.
Oh,
This is the best. I mean, I could just sit here and watch all day, just the two of them talking like this. Really, I mean, this is almost like class in itself. And then you're getting some great jokes on top of it. But we are out of time. But this is fantastic. Stand-up memories.
You know why the family moved out of the outhouse?
Why?
Because the lawyers downstairs were making too much noise.
That's a good one. I like that.
Insert whatever ethnic.
That's a good joke.
Insert whatever ethnic.
Michael Zinn was watching before. He was commenting. Season 5 today of Stand-Up Memories, today at 5 o'clock. And this is where YouTube, right?
We are on YouTube. We are on Spotify. We're on all the platforms.
We're on standupmemories.com.
Very nice.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Bobby Collins, Season 5 first guest, today at 5 o'clock.
And then is there a new one every week?
Yes. We're coming out with a new one every week, every Wednesday. And we have as our guest this coming Monday, the man who inspired me to go into comedy.
I'd like to get that motherfucker.
Who is that?
Robert Klein. We have.
Oh, very nice.
Robert
Klein,
yeah.
That's
also,
great.
Sandy Hackett, the son of
Buddy Hackett.
Right. He goes around doing a show?
He was for the longest time. He was doing that Rat Pack thing.
Oh, okay.
But I think I actually played a round of golf with him 20 years ago. I just know we hung out for a while in Las Vegas. But he has great stories because his mother was bored. So she started taking cooking lessons. And then every Sunday she would apply the meal that she had learned that week at cooking school or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And Buddy would invite his guys, and they'd all come and have a big dinner so she could cook for them. But Sandy said the array of people was spectacular. Buddy and Jan Murray and Sid Caesar, Ida Mae, whoever the people might have been at that time that were assembled in either Beverly Hills. I imagine Beverly Hills, maybe. I don't think it was Las Vegas. I think it was Beverly Hills. And George Burns, the whole gang. And he said it was, Pat Paulson, just such an array. And he said, I knew what I was listening to, but I probably had no idea the level of the conversation, how funny it was, so.
No, that's great.
So he's a nice guy. His bar, he told me this, and I've always repeated it, and I'm always afraid to ask him, and because I'm so afraid he's going to say, no, I just made that up. He said that at his bar mitzvah, when he turned 13, of course, Buddy invited all his show business friends, and he said, Uncle Milty, he really called him Uncle Milty, the rest of the country did, but, Uncle Milty took him into the bathroom and said, close your eyes and put out your hand.
Oh, no.
And it's his 13th birthday, and I'm sure he thought he was going to give him like a $500 bill or a $1,000 bill,
Yeah.
And Milton Berle put his gigantic cock in his hand and then laughed his ass off. And I actually think that's funny as hell,
I hate when that happens at a party.
There's people, that's not child abuse. That's A+ level shenanigans, And so that's the first thing we got to ask him,
You really going to ask him that?
How big was Uncle Milty's penis?
Just if it actually happened.
It's always
Milton
been
Berle
a
came on the
Hollywood
Stern
story.
Show one day. He came on the Stern Show for a whole long segment. And usually at the end of a segment, I would go take a leak because I drank so much coffee. And we get done with the segment, and Uncle Milty and whoever was handling him were walking down the hall, and I'm right behind him. And he's shaking his head and he said to the guy who was with him, he said, he talked about my cock for 45 minutes. and he really had, I got to find out what day that was and find those notes because I'm sure there were,
Wow.
That's great.
Those jokes just write themselves and,
And the Hollywood actor who had the reputation for having the largest penis.
Forrest Tucker.
Forrest Tucker? You heard that? I didn't know
Milton Berle, Forrest Tucker.
Victor Mature.
Oh, really?
Oh, is that right?
I didn't know that.
All the women who had sex with Victor Mature would have this little saying they'd whisper to each other and laugh. Victor Mature, for sure.
Oh, wow.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
You know who's supposed to have a ridiculously huge cock is Willem Dafoe. And
I never heard that.
Me neither.
Somebody, I think for the Toronto Film Festival or something like that, there were some actors at a strip club. And they're just having a conversation like this. And one of the guys will say, yeah, Willem Dafoe, because he's a little guy. He's not a midget, but he's almost a midget, a little tiny guy. And somebody said, yeah, I heard he's got a gigantic cock. And the girl in the next booth was giving a lap dance to somebody, and she leaned over and said, he does. Which is just so wonderful. Wow. I hate when you can remember a story and you can't remember who told it or who you were with. Because even if it's a lie, at least you got somebody to back it up.
Yeah. And you two can hear more about big cocks on Stand Up Memories.
No, we don't do that on Stand Up Memories.
Oh, you save it for here.
Yeah, we save it for here. We can't do that stuff.
We just talk pussy.
Jeez.
No, we actually it's
family oriented show, but
who is it?
Just like your life, there's a fuck here and a fuck there.
Yeah, right. If it's
often.
necessary for the story.
Who's a dream guest? A guest that you've never had that you'd love to get your hands on?
Mike. We have a nice, quiet place to work. Who do we want that we don't have?
That's an interesting question. Now, Robert Klein is a big
Yeah,
deal for me.
yeah,
because he
absolutely.
inspired me.
Yeah.
Maybe a woman that I find really, really attractive, a famous actress.
Rhonda Shear.
Can we get? We might be able to. Can you get her, Rhonda Shear?
But she's in Florida. She's not gonna. She would, but I'm sure and she sells stuff, so she's always on the go.
I don't know who that is.
I'd like to get.
Her and Gilbert hosted Up All Night.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember that.
It was on Channel 9 in New York. I was
They
on
showed.
that.
It was
I
like
was on that
exactly
show.
right. They showed bad TV, bad movies.
Yes.
Right.
There was a stand-up show that she hosted.
Oh, that was something different. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on that. I did that. Yeah.
That might have been part. That might have been one of the.
Yeah. Okay.
I think she did a lot of stuff on what was that? MTV. It was a comedy channel. Or
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Got it. Okay.
one of those.
Anyway, my dream guest would be Demi Moore.
Really?
Because I find her so sexy, really.
You know, I was watching the trailer to her new movie, which looks very strange, but I don't know, the surgery on her mouth, that shit completely turns
The
me
rumor
off.
is what throws me. That she has a cock. You never heard that?
No, but I mean, you come on this show and you say these things.
Yeah.
On our show.
Well, there's nobody listening.
Oh, man.
Well, there you go.
Wait, you never heard that?
I have heard that.
You have heard? That really is a rumor?
Oh, yeah, please. Please.
I've heard that about Jamie Lee Curtis.
I thought you said
come on.
I thought you said Roger Moore.
Oh, God.
All right.
Stand-up memories.
You gotta read the new book about Ian Fleming. It is the best thing ever. I'm just plugging that. I don't know who wrote it. I don't care. My God, is it interesting? Holy jeez, that is one interesting cat.
And he's got a cock.
He would have.
Stand-up memories today at 5 o'clock. Bobby Collins, the first guest. Looking forward to seeing it, and always a pleasure with you guys.
We're going to be
here.
at Governor's at the brokerage on long time from now, October 26th.
It's not that far out.
Saturday, October 26th. I keep saying it's so far away, and it isn't.
It's
a
not.
month,
It's a month and a half away, yeah. Oh, very nice. October 26th at the brokerage. Go
And
to
for all you
govs.com.
listeners in Clearwater, Florida, I'll be there the 23rd, 21st rather,
October?
of September.
Oh, September. Soon. All right, very nice. And then, Peter, you can see pretty much every weekend here, pretty much.
Every weekend?
Yeah, you're a regular
A
here.
lot of times on Sunday nights, I like to come down and work it out. Work out the new stuff. And the new stuff for me, of course, is jokes about Bill Clinton.
Oh, yeah?
New stuff.
New stuff.
See, I should have said Franklin Roosevelt and made it more emphatic, the punchline.
People yell too soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of here.
The greatest thing is that Franklin Roosevelt was in a wheelchair, and he used to roll around on his wife. I love that. How did he cheat on his wife in a wheelchair? You know, just
when
a
he
simple
died,
stick in the spoke.
when he died, he was sitting right across from his mistress.
Is that right? Really?
He was having his portrait painted, and she was sitting right next to him, chatting.
And she was holding a smoking gun?
That's not how he died.
Where did he die?
Warm Springs, Georgia. He was getting his portrait painted.
By her?
No, by an artist. And she was sitting there keeping him company.
Well, at least at that point, he's still still. She can finish the picture.
Yeah, she could prop him up and hold him.
Right.
Is that true?
Yes, it is true. But, I mean, back
didn't
in
know
those
that.
days, they wouldn't have made the jokes that we're making now.
True.
Was she like whacking him off or something?
Oh, my God. Have some respect for the office of the presidency.
Nobody, I guess the polio stopped at his thighs, right?
I'm not even going to go there.
He still
I don't know of anybody who's ever gone
He
there.
had to have working apparatus.
We
He
don't
wouldn't have
know.
had a mistress.
It's not written about.
Didn't he have kids?
Yes, but before he was struck by polio.
Yeah.
Oh.
Gotcha.
All right.
And they were challenged, right?
Oh,
Didn't Sporty work at the hotel?
Sporty. Hey, this weekend, go to, let's see, here we go.
So,
So
Sporty figures he better get a job.
With the cleft lip?
So he goes, and he goes to the First National Bank, and he walks in and says, I would like to apply to be a president of your bank. I'm sorry, my friend, we already have a president. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. He goes to the Farmers Bank, and he goes in and says, I would like to apply to be vice president of your bank. I'm sorry, we got a couple vice presidents already. There's no positions open. Okay, thank you very much. He goes to Chase Manhattan Bank and says, I would like to apply. I would like to be a teller at your bank. We got more tellers than there's a line out that we don't need a teller. Okay, thank you very much. And he goes to the next bank and says, I would like to be a guard. I want a job as a guard here in your bank. I'm sorry, my friend. We have so many guards, so many people applied that the line's a mile long. Okay, thank you very much. He's walking down the sidewalk and he's really depressed. He's really feeling low. A beautiful blonde walking the other way, and he's like 4'10", and she's like 6 feet tall, and she's voluptuous, just oozing sex. And he's walking along, and he stops and says, young lady, how would you like to go to a hotel with me and help out a poor, forlorn, unemployed little fella that can't seem to get a break? She says, how'd you like to kiss my ass? Well, I'm not saying I will, and I'm not saying I won't, but it's certainly the best offer. Why is that so funny? It's just, I'm not saying I will, and I'm not saying I won't.
Tony,
I'll email. I got all those in the same file. I'll email
Tony,
you guys
do you want to apologize or should I?
He's been here enough. They know what to expect.
The crowd knows what's coming. Okay, good.
My mother yells at me every time he comes on, but but that's how it goes. All right.
Why would you have me on and risk your one listener?
We're up to 13 now, by the way.
Seriously, are there a lot of people listening?
Our numbers have gotten better this summer, believe it or not. I don't know why.
It's like when I was working
never know
on
the
the Sun
science.
Show making $20, and all of a sudden they upped it to $40. And I'm like, this sucks. They're like, we doubled your salary.
Yeah, right.
Duh.
So Tony, how many
are going up.
How many listeners do you have? And feel free to use fractions.
Well, if they're like me, I'd have to use
That's
fractions.
called
now that's why would you go
callback.
there?
That's a callback in comedy
Callbacks
parlance.
always work
Yes,
in
they do.
every aspect. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thanks for sticking around with us. We went a little late, but so what? Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget govs.com. Who's playing this weekend? Let's see. Who's playing this weekend? The Day Players Band will be here. Maurice Bernard from General Hospital. Michael Palaskak, John Butera, Sean Kearns, Francesco Caputo, and Bobby Bannon. Josh Potter and the Uncle Louie Show. Just some of the comedians you'll see on our governor's stage this weekend. Don't forget... let's see, Jeff Bosey's got his show on September 14th with Carl Okerson, Mike Keegan.
You know what I think?
What do you think?
Oh my
I
God.
knew he was going to do that.
These soap opera people
They racked on.
showing up here.
They
I
pack
think
'em in.
some comics should just go to the fucking TV studio and walk in on the fucking soap opera and start doing their acts.
Yeah,
Equal time.
I'm with you.
Get out of our way. We're going to do some comedy right here. Doctor, put down your scalpel. Charlie, stop fucking his wife while we tell some comedy jokes.
Those soap opera people pack these places out like you wouldn't believe.
I remember so well. I used to work at the 400-seat room at the Comedy Palace, which was no palace, up in Saugus, Massachusetts, and it was a 700-seat room. And the owner said to me, Jackie, you wouldn't believe it. I have to actually take out some of the chairs because the women that come to the shows to see the soap opera guys are so fat that I got to make room at some table because they're that fucking huge. And he says, I swear, before the show starts, if you look out the window, you can see these big fat pigs. I know you're not supposed to say that. These big fat pigs, you see them wrestling to get their wedding ring off.
Wow.
So they can put it in the glove compartment so they look single.
Oh,
He said it's nothing fun. Who could invent that? And this guy, Ron, I think he passed away. I think one of those fat broads fell on him. but he's not the kind of guy who could have made that story up, So they've been packing them in that was 1995.
Oh yeah, I mean, have you seen it
I've opened for Walt Willey.
Okay.
Way back in the day. Is he still with us, Walt Willey?
I don't think so.
General Hospital he was on, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
It was the town Pine Valley. He did a song about Pine Valley. Walt Willey. Long story short, Jackie,
he's still around.
a concept you ought to check into.
It's too late.
He didn't show. He was caught in New York City taping. Could not get out to West Orange, New Jersey.
Oh wow!
And it was packed, 400 people. And they kept slipping me a note, keep going, keep going, keep going. I did a 40-minute opening, which is not normal.
Yeah.
Finally, they said take a break, and then finally he couldn't make it, so I had to go up and tell 400 women.
Oh wow!
That he's not going to show up, and first they thought it was a joke, and then I said no, refunds are available, right? And as I was walking back to the green room, a 300-pound woman grabbed me by the lapels, pulled me close, and said, "I'm going to kick the shit out of you." Blaming me for Walt Willey not showing up. It was one of the scariest things that ever happened because she was going to kick the shit. She could have.
Yeah.
But the joke would have been on her because I like that kind of thing.
And you walked out and they're all trying to get their wedding
rings back on.
Right, yeah.
But that's anything to get them in the tent. But that is such, guys work their whole lives to try and draw a few people. And then the soap stars get on,
Yeah, I hear you. And I'm with you. And I've had some run-ins with some of them here, and they're not the nicest of people either.
And we thought Billy's Burlesque was unfair.
Yes, the male strip shows that Jackie used to perform.
And talk about giving refunds, right? What about the drag queen acts? Because that's the popular thing now.
But that's an act. That's not showing up because you're in a soap opera, But it's all fair. It's all fair game. Whatever you can do to make a nickel.
Yeah,
fine.
it's all showbiz, right?
Yep.
So govs.com. Don't forget Knockem Dead Comedy at the end of the month. We got a murder mystery at the brokerage, and we have a game show here in the Giggle Room on the very next night. Gov's Comedy Club podcast presents Claudia Sherman. She'll be here October 5th here in the Giggle Room with Gretchen Comer and Nancy Parker.
What night is she?
That's Saturday, October 5th.
What was the movie I just saw the movie that she was in.
She's a very funny stand-up comedian.
Yeah. What was the movie about the woman who solved the problem and her boss stole the idea? Working Girl?
Oh, Melanie Griffith?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was.
Oh, she's in that?
She was in that?
She was a right-hand girl, right?
Wow.
She was married to Gabe, right?
Roger Paul, I believe.
Right, Roger Paul she was married to, yeah.
Who was Gabe Abelson married to?
Julia Roberts.
Oh.
You were close. November 2nd, don't forget Mike Bacchetti and Friends with Greg Criticos. That's here in the Giggle Room. Then we have another murder mystery at McGuire's in Bohemia in December. Get your tickets to the murder mystery at the end of September. We have not sold any tickets yet. So buy some tickets.
Take a hint.
I know. And don't forget this Saturday at the Town of Oyster Bay Athletic Center in Hicksville. This Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., the Nassau County Police Athletic League, the Special Needs Unit, they're having a yard sale where some very nice items were donated, and all the proceeds are going to the Nassau County PAL Special Needs Unit. So that's a good cause. So head on over to there. And, of course, don't forget Stand Up Memories today at 5, Jackie and Peter with Bobby Collins. That's today at 5. And then it's every Wednesday at 5?
Yeah, standupmemories.com.
Very nice.
Stand Up Memories. Don't forget. That's pretty good.
Oh, my God.
Thank you, gentlemen. Always a pleasure. A lot of fun as always.
Always fun.
All right. We're out of here. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Today is Wednesday, so there's nothing on here the rest of the day. So tomorrow morning, Coffee with the Dog with Matt Napo. You going on there soon? You usually make your appearances on there?
I should call him. You know,
Okay.
I bomb in on him and
Yep.
My hair.
I warn
He's
him.
great. So that's tomorrow morning.
I like the Napo.
At 9 a.m. and then 11 a.m. we're back in here. We have guitar player Jim Moran will be with us tomorrow.